I'm John Mercurio, up next on Hotline TV. Scared about February 5th? Fear not, we've got some ways you can be Y2K prepared.
We see parents who dream big, of honor students and artists. By supporting programs that help children learn, we help parents watch their dreams come true.
From the Watergate building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now, here are Hotline editors
Marc Ambinder
and John Mercurio.
Happy Monday, everyone. I'm John Mercurio.
I'm Marc Ambinder.
Yes, indeed, you are. And I am Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, I'm not, but he signed a bill last week officially moving the state's presidential primary to February 5th, 2008. It's a change that could lead to the earliest and biggest single day in primary history. They're calling it Tsunami Tuesday. Mark, how are the candidates on both sides of the aisle preparing for the big day?
I think they have to hire the best media strategists that money can buy. And
especially on the Republican side.
Especially on the Republican
because
side.
Because you've got a congressional, you've got to win delegates in each congressional district.
And there's absolutely, I checked actually with two of the leading Republican campaigns yesterday, there's no way they can micro-target voters in those primaries. So that means that they're going to rely on media. That means they're going to rely on television ads and barnstorming from airport to airport to airport to airport.
Right, and unless you are, on the Republican side, let's talk about that first, unless you are McCain, Giuliani, Romney, you know, if you're a Huckabee, if you're a Tommy Thompson, if you're a Sam Brownback, and you come out towards June of 2007, you don't have as much money as them, you're decidedly in the second tier. How do you try to compete in this?
Well, the irony is for them, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina become all the more important.
Exactly. Which
the only way they can get a slot in that primary, essentially, is to do really well in one of the early primaries.
I think on both sides of the aisle, that's where you're going to see the second tier all of a sudden focus and congregate. And that, I think, can be the saving grace for one of those early states, for South Carolina or Iowa, is that they then become so much more important for the Brownbacks, for the Huckabees, you know, for the Joe Biden and the Chris Dodd, and for the Bill Richardson.
The problem is, though, that there's so little time elapses between those states and Tsunami Tuesday that the candidate surprise candidate out of Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, might not have enough time to raise enough money to put TV ads on the air.
That's probably true, but remember John Kerry came out of Iowa with such a bump that a week later he was able to turn the polls around in New Hampshire, a much smaller state, you're right, and not as much money having to be spent on the media. But what do you think then does happen after Tsunami Tuesday? I mean, do we have, is the race over, or do you have are there going to be sort of other dates just down the road in,
well, look, I mean,
in the end of February?
I think you have two possibilities. It's over, or you have a split field, in which case the February 12th primaries, and there'll be probably 6 or 7 of them, will be decisive. A lot of the smaller states. Almost one of the ironies of all the smaller states now going up to the 5th is that they are reducing their influence significantly, even perhaps more so than would have happened if they had stayed where they were in March now.
And then beefsteaks begins. All right, looks like we're out of time. Thanks for joining us on Hotline TV.